right, here we go again. Buckle up. So I think it was under the Bush administration, and I think it was when I was at Fort Riley, but it could have been Fort Campbell, but I don't think so. So it was either under Reagan or Bush Senior. A bunch of people in the barracks that lived in the barracks had to go and attend a JAG meeting. And essentially, what I understand is it involved immigration issues, and I believe it was application for citizenship. So somewhere, one of the president's administrations figured out that we were having veterans deported. It could have been Vietnam veterans at that point. I don't know. Right. So you got somebody with like a Silver Star that's being, in Vietnam, being put out for for deportation and things. So they wanted to make sure. And again, we've lost our way apparently. Also, they wanted to make sure that they understood the process and that it happened. A lot of people have to wait, but at least initiate the process. Right. Mr. Wade should have been a citizen. I don't understand it. I mean, like in the 90s, and then his first, I think, offense was in the year 2005 or something. I might be wrong, but again, the idea is that you structure a program, and it should be a permanent program at this point, for anybody that's not a U.S. citizen that ends up in the military, that they receive routine counseling and updates. So again, you could have it set up in the JAG system where JAG calls them in for a meeting, in relation to their citizenship, like an update. Or you can even, you could actually put a JAG unit together for such a purpose if you have one, maybe, I don't know. But the idea is that people that are serving receive that respect, that at least, everything that the military and the VA can do will put them through, as long as there's nothing stopping it, will put them through for citizenship. Again, the idea is that he somehow never completed the process, which is a shame. And maybe because he figured he was covered because he had some permanent resident status. But anybody that's been in the military should be going through a process of citizenship and receive it. Right. What happens is, because the military is so short, the time period that they're in there, that it doesn't go through the complete process. Right? 'Cause there's a waiting period. But for him, he came into the United States as a permanent resident, I think. I can't remember when he got his permanent residence, but again, he had the time period to do it and kind of got lost in the sauce. So the idea is for the military to put a program together to make sure that they apply, and of course they should receive it if they're serving in the military or have served in the military. Right. So again, that we should be monitoring that. Again, it's just like anything else, that we monitor. You have that part of, you could have that part of the that deployment checklist. Right. If you're looking, you have a will and power of attorney. Right. What are the other things that they look at? So for certain people, you look at their immigration status and, update them what you see in the computer. Now you have 2 more years or whatever it is. All right, that's pretty much it. I can't remember which one it was. And it may have been a certain class of immigrant. I can't remember. But again, the big idea was something was going on, and they were trying to update everybody and make sure that they could that they would have the appropriate immigration status. So again, that's what I would do. Again, it's just like the same, like I said, specialist D4, you are so-and-so, this is where you are, this is where your citizenship is, if, your application, By our estimations, you should be qualified as a citizen in this state or something like that. And you have to, reminding them to stay up on it. Right. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God. Don't let you do. Praise God.